You know, as I grow older, I have learned many things. Nothing lasts forever. Luck is an important part of success. And giant robots are cool!
Yeah, there's nothing more cathartic than seeing giant slabs of metal smacking into big monsters and other machines. And no one knows that more than our good friends in Nippon and their weird cartoons. The mecha genre, as it's referred to, is one of the many backbones of the anime market, with titles such as Mobile Suit Gundam, Evangelion, and the Mazinger series, to name a few, and has become one, if not the most influential genre to come out of Japan, next to my favorite Scaly Boy. And to give a good example, well, there is this one little film that took a bit of inspiration from these shows. You might have heard of it. It's called Pacific Rim. Well, it's not a surprise. I mean, it's not like it did insanely well or anything. I don't know what you're talking about.
But today, I'm going to be looking at a series that people don't really talk about nowadays, but is still an important name in the genre, simply known as Patlabor.
Mobile Police Patlabor, or Patlabor for short, was a manga series created in 1988 by, okay, forgive me, Masami Yuki and his group called Headgear. This series lasted till 1994, but received its own toys, anime, and 3 movies. However, today's video is gonna focus on the 7-episode OVA that chronicles the beginning of the series.
So it's time to get into the goddamn mech, as I present to you all, Patlabor, The Early Years.
The story takes place in an alternate universe of 2002. In their timeline, they were able to create giant piloted mechs known as labors, while we were stuck with the Scooby-Doo movie. God, our universe sucks! These laborers were usually tasked with heavy construction work a la walking bulldozers, but after a while, people started using it for a different use. Crime. Because of the rise of labor crimes popping up around Japan, the country decided to fight back by upgrading their own police with their own division, dedicated to fight these crimes with their own mechs known as Patlabors. The series is all about Section 2, the division that pilots these Patlabors. On the team, we have the captain, Kichi Godo, and he is smooth. Rather than being the no-nonsense play-by-the-books type, he's opted to being the most laid-back son of a bitch on the force. Yet, he still is able to manage his squad like no other. Then you have Captain Shinobu Nagamo. She's a no-nonsense captain that plays by the book. She's the complete opposite of Godo, and they both kind of have a professional odd couple vibe coming off of them. The other teammates are as follows. Asuma Shinohara, the good-natured / hot-headed officer of the group, whose dad is the head of the main labor industry, a la Steve Jobs but for mechs. Hiromi Yamazaki. He's your atypical gentle giant with less screen time. Mikiyasu Shinji. He likes to mention that he's married. That's all about him. Let's move on. Next we have Iso Ota, who is the very gun-ho member of the team. I am scared the fact that they gave him a giant robot. Then you have Kanika Kalansky, an exchange officer from New York who is practically the level-headed one of the group. And then you got these two guys. Yeah, they were sure there. In hindsight, this division is less of a police force and more of a sitcom group. But it helps give this team a lot of charm and makes it enjoyable to watch whatever antics they get up to, even if some characters don't get a lot of screen time as others. But there is a character I've been saving for last, and oh. Whoa.
Woo! It's getting a little hot in here, huh? Ooh. Ooh, wee mama.
And finally, we have Noah Izumi. And what else can I say but... She serves as our main protagonist, and by far, no competition. She is the best character. She's cute, silly, has a bit of spunk to her, and is a badass mech pilot ready to throw down some metal fisticuffs. Hell, her main goal, her main motivation to even join the Force was because she wanted to pilot a robot and name it after her dog. My god, she's just a big old dork. And I think I'm in love. In a sea of female characters in anime that only exist to be a walking pair of boobs or just being the biggest god-forsaken whore! I can't tell you how refreshing it is to see someone like Noah over here, who not only has her own goals that don't revolve around some dude's dick, but is also, and I can't stress this enough, fun and likable.
What I'm trying to say is Girls Bravo makes me die inside.
Talking about the episodes themselves, they all have their own self-contained plot, so to speak. And let me tell you, they get wacky tobacco. One half of the OVA mainly focuses on the different missions and cases that the team goes on, such as defusing a missile launcher or stopping a terrorist group. While the other half has episodes like the gun safety episode, where the team has to go back to training school for gun safety that is apparently haunted. Or, what about the episode that is just an homage to Godzilla, and this happens? Yeah, they get weird. Let's move on to the presentation. Okay, to start, I really love this art design. It's the soft colors and painted backgrounds that the 80s used to do a lot that really does it for me. Just so comfy and warm, like a big old blanket. That is also a giant mech. Which is sad because I know we're never gonna have this type of aesthetic ever again. Or even hand-drawn animation in general. Wow, this got depressing really quick. Well, another thing we ain't gonna get a lot anymore is this type of music. Welcome to the 80s, baby, where there was nothing but synths and electric guitars everywhere, and it was boppin'. Even the main intro theme is just vibing with pure classic J-pop.
I don't know what they're saying.
Next up, we got the character designs. Each character has their own distinct facial and body feature that helps them differentiate from each other. From Yamazaki's huge build to Goto's droopy expression. To even Noah's short red hair to help her differentiate from the rest of the crew. These attention to details in the character designs really help them stand out and, overall, makes them very memorable. But now it's time to stop fooling around and talk about the thing we're all here for. Because it's time to talk about the AV-98 Ingram Patlabor, the machine made to serve and protect the people, and rack up a ton of collateral damage. I mean, look at this. Now, when it comes to mech designs, they have to have some sort of appeal to me. Like, I'm not gonna go head over heels to every robot design I see, cause, let's be honest, some of them kinda look stupid. Some examples of my favorite designs are the ones that look like giant walking super tanks, or a design that incorporates an unnecessary cape or scarf. But most importantly, I love the designs that just scream, weapon? You mean fist! With that being said, here's what I think about this show's mech. It's adorable. It's a super walking police car. It has sirens on its shoulders and a license plate on its crotch. Plus, even though I'm not the biggest fan of giving giant robots regular guns, seeing these things with giant revolvers, battalions, and shotguns even, just kinda makes it more charming to me. Plus, they got bunny ears. The demons came out. So yeah, I really do like the Patlabor design. I just wish I could see it more in action. Yes, it's time to talk about the most glaring issue with this OVA, and I can just sum it up with,
Yes, this show is good and all. But where's the fighting?
Yes, for a mecha OVA, there sure is a lack of mecha battles. Most of the time, the Patlabors are just kind of there, not doing much but looking pretty. There's only 2 episodes in this 7-episode OVA that actually features labor battles. The first episode, and the last episode. The rest is about the team's misadventures, which, don't get me wrong, I do like their little police romps, but, you know, I also came here for Robo Wrestling, so I'm a bit disappointed.
Which comes to my conclusion that this OVA is a sample. You don't get everything that the series has to offer here, but you kind of get the gist with the premise and characters, and if that's the case, I'd like to see more.
If you have any inkling interest in Patlabor, I suggest you start here if you really want to get into the series. It helps flesh out the cast and the premise of the show while at the same time being fairly entertaining to watch, even if there was a lack of mech fights. That being said, I really did enjoy this OVA. It was just fun all around and I highly recommend it. And hell, if you like what you see, you can check out the rest of what Patlabor has to offer, including this thing. I don't know what it is, but I'll watch it. Maybe.
And that's the end of this video, and I hope you enjoyed. Next time I'll check back in with Patlabor, it's gonna be with the first movie, since what I hear, that's what continues off from the OVA, so stay tuned. And if you like what you see and want to see more, you can always subscribe. It really does help out the channel, not gonna lie, and you can always share with your friends. They might judge you on your taste of entertainment, but hey, it helps me out. Thanks. And I'll see you on the next video, which will be on something else. Until then, I'm gonna celebrate because I went through this entire review without making a controversial cop joke! Yeah!